welcome everyone to this new episode of the Live Well Kitsap Thrive Podcast. I am Leslie Doolin Taylor, the founder of Live Well Kitsap and your podcast host. And today I get to hang out with a good friend of mine, Dr. Sean Joseph, who I'm so excited to have you on our podcast and can't wait to pick your brain about all the things I don't know about what you do. So welcome to the show, and thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, the fun hasn't started yet, but stay tuned. We're going to get there. Okay. I do like to do a proper introduction, so we're going to let everyone else know who you are and what you do and where you've been. So bear with me. I'm going to read this so I get it right. Sean Joseph, DC, CKTP, that's a lot of letters. That's a lot of alphabet soup happening there, is a chiropractic physician and certified kinesiotaping practitioner. Dr. Joseph holds degrees in biological sciences, human biology, and chiropractic. He attended the National University of Health Sciences in, am I going to say this right? Lombard, Illinois. Dr. Joseph has held numerous positions throughout his career and has worked with, man, this is like wild. So you've worked with Olympians. I definitely want to know more about that. Professional athletes, Fortune 500 executives, and celebrities. We are so lucky to just have you here in our little Kitsap County, Washington. That's amazing. Dr. Joseph is the founder of Integrated Chiropractic and co-founder of the Silverdale Wellness Center. He frequently treats patients with kinesiotaping, soul supports, custom orthotics, chiropractic instrument adjusting, which I'm very familiar with because I'm a patient, myofascial release techniques, also very important, and corrective exercises. Wow, I feel like I've aged another year just reading your whole bio and where you've been and what you've been doing. So let's start with why chiropractic? Like what was going on in your mind? Were you like 3 and 4 and you're like, I know when I grow up I want to be a chiropractor? Like what's your backstory?
It's a really interesting story. Hopefully I have enough time to cover it all.
Sure, we want to hear it.
But I originally wanted to be an orthopedic surgeon, and that was because I was being treated by a phenomenal one when I was a martial artist in Windsor, Ontario, Canada.
Okay.
And so in doing that, I realized what that would take. And then I wasn't
a lot of schooling.
That's right. So I wasn't super impressed about that.
Not excited about like 8 years or whatever of like never coming out of a book.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so once I learned about chiropractic, and so between my brother, who's a chiropractor, my sister-in-law is a chiropractor, and my brother's business partner was my chiropractor.
Oh my.
And so I started getting treated professionally by Dr. Riaz Ozier, who's no longer practicing. But prior to that, in the karate school that I belonged to, one of the black belts who was nickname was Doc, was a chiropractor.
Oh my gosh.
And so at the age of 13, he would adjust us if we wanted it. And so it was something that we found that it was very helpful to do. One, when we didn't feel right, or two, before competition.
Makes sense.
And so Doc would do this, and so it was just obviously intriguing.
He's a kid.
No, he was a chiropractor.
I mean, but okay.
I was the 13-year-old.
You were the third. Okay.
Yes.
Just turn up my hearing aid and we'll be fine.
It's all good.
You were the 13-year-old. He's the doc. He's training chiropractic, and he's working on you. And you're like, whoa, this is making such a huge difference for me.
Yeah.
For as long as I've known you, I don't think I've ever known that you came from like a chiropractic family.
I tried not to, actually. So that's part of the story.
Oh my gosh.
So
tell us more.
So with Doc Pasco adjusting me, I found how he lived and how he did things, and that we were always intrigued. And so he was a fellow black belt, and so we hung out a lot because there was a lot of like black belt get-togethers.
Fun.
And so I learned.
Do you guys just like you know how some people like handshake or hug when they see each other? Do you guys just come together and like throw each other down?
No.
No. Okay.
There is a kind of like a sacred handshake,
Like a
hug
protocol
kind of thing.
Okay.
So, but yes.
All right.
So that was my first introduction to chiropractic. And then
Wow.
I got in a car accident when I was about 16, started seeing the professional, Dr. Riaz Ozier,
Okay.
who then later became my brother's partner. And
Wow.
so
Wow.
all that to be said, knowing that I wanted to do something in sports medicine,
Yeah.
but not do orthopedics through the traditional orthopedic medicine way, I learned that you can do this through chiropractic, but at the same time, my brother and I always did the same things. And so volleyball, karate, everything we did together.
Right.
I didn't really want to do a chiropractic
You're
profession
like, a little distance, please.
he was already doing that. So I tried really hard not to do chiropractic, actually. So to be honest, I tried to do, I did the test for optometry. I did the test for MBA, Master's in Business Administration.
You're like, give me anything other than Doctor of Chiropractic, because my brother, he's doing that.
Yeah, I even did air traffic control test. And so I did everything I could.
I am learning so much.
To not be a chiropractor. And yet you can see how that turned out.
I see how that turned out.
So for the most part, it got to the point where I then applied to chiropractic school in Canada. And there's only two at the time, one English, one French. Oh. And the one...
Which one did you go to?
Well, I didn't go to either one. I applied twice and didn't get in.
They were like, go be an optometrist. Go do something different than your brother.
Well, the demand was so high that it was just as demanding to get into chiropractic in this school. It's called CMCC, Canadian Memorial Chiropractic College. It's where my brother and my sister-in-law went.
Okay.
But it was so competitive that it was more competitive than medical school and physical therapy school put together.
Oh my gosh. So what did you do?
So I ended up not getting in after trying twice, and then ended up going to the next school that was in my radius because I knew people that went there. And so that was national. And so they had a great program for Canadians. In my graduating class, there was 5 people alone from my hometown. And so
my gosh.
30% of the graduating class was Canadian.
That is amazing.
Yeah, and so they did great amongst Canadians. They actually did Canadian money at par, and so that was something that was also unheard of. They also set the bar for a lot of different schools. So out of all 19 schools in the United States, they were the first ones to require a degree, and then they upped the grade point average, and then they gave
they kept improving.
Yeah, and then they gave you a human biology degree after your first 4 semesters.
Bonus.
Yes. And then so there was and then you graduate as a primary care physician because of the scope of practice in Illinois.
That's impressive.
Was to be primary care able if you wanted to or not.
That's impressive.
So hence why I carry the name physician because not a lot of chiropractors carry that name.
Yeah.
I do because I earned it.
Yeah.
So
well,
for the most part,
that makes perfectly good sense. Okay, so were you born and raised in Canada?
Yes. So Windsor, Ontario, Canada.
Give us you're like, I hate Canada, I'm going to the US, or you just came here because of school?
Came here because of school, and I was prepared to go back and work with my brother.
I mean, because Canada's awesome. If we're really going to get honest,
it is.
Canada's pretty awesome.
It has its ways,
right?
That we all can kind of love them for,
right?
But
there's no perfect place. But right now, I'm like, Canada. Anyway. So your educational journey sounds absolutely incredible. I love, because I am that person, I love that in the end you ended up doing what your brother's doing, even though you tried so hard not to, which I think is absolutely awesome. We're going to take a pause from hearing more about the journey that led you to chiropractic, and we're going to start our Good Eats segment. So the Good Eats segment we do because we want to encourage people to eat a little healthier, to be a little more curious about what's in their food. And on that note, we usually have something homemade and something store-bought. So you get to pick your category. Something store-bought, something homemade. What sounds good to you? Especially not knowing what any of them are.
Homemade.
Homemade. Okay, who doesn't love homemade? So I made homemade zucchini chocolate chip muffins. They're little minis, and they're gluten-free and dairy-free. Do you still want one?
Yes.
Okay, so you've got your fancy napkin. So now we can move on with the segment. So again, these are gluten-free. So there's some oat flour, there's some gluten-free flour. I used a little avocado oil, which is new and different for me to make it a little healthier, and there's a little less sugar. So help yourself. There is paper around the edge.
Okay.
So you're going to want to peel that off, and then you're going to tell me thumbs up or thumbs down, and my feelings won't be hurt. So if you're like, this sucks, then that's okay, because I've learned not to take these things personally. But if you don't like it, I would like to know what you don't like about it. If you do like it, tell us what you like about it.
Okay. Did you know that avocado oil is the best oil to cook with?
I did a little research, Sean, because in the past, in my old baking life, I was using canola oil. And I did some research, literally standing, truth be told, in the aisle of the oil aisle of Sprouts one day. And I had extra time, and I knew I wanted to make these. And I'm like, which oil is the best, healthiest, but also where you're not going to taste a really strong, like olive oil, you would taste it. So what do you think?
I like it.
You like it?
I got no complaints.
No complaints.
I'm a chocolate fan, so I like
oh my
the chocolate.
gosh, anything chocolate, yes.
I like the fact that it has zucchini in it. It's fluffy.
And it's fluffy. Yay, my little mini muffins are fluffy. Okay, you just made my day. We can just stop right here, right now. That absolutely makes my day. Thank you for humoring me.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're going to do another segment because that was so much fun. And because we didn't do this yet. And since it's, there are no rules here. Okay, so we're going to go from that. If you want another one, hit me up. I have like 2 left.
Okay.
This is called Random Card Question. So you see I have these cards. It's not like playing, like poker. We're not going to do that. But these cards all have a question. Okay. The idea with the random card question is just wanting to know you more deeply. Okay. So we want to get to know our guests. So pick one, but then hand it right to me. Drum roll, drum roll.
I can drum roll if you want me to drum roll.
You want it? You can. You can. Okay. It's a whole nother conversation for another day. Someone else recently got, ironically, look how many cards are here. Kim with Shanti Living Wellness got this same question. Are you ready?
I am.
When have you felt most powerful? It could be something in your personal life, something in your professional life, past, present. When have you felt most powerful?
I'd have to pick from a variety.
I know, right?
I think there's a variety of those in my life.
Yeah, which is great. That's like a good problem. Like, oh, there's so many things I could offer up here.
Yeah.
But pick one.
Pick one.
Yeah, pick one.
During the pandemic, there was a time there that and this is being transparent, was probably indulging a little too much with alcohol.
Okay.
And so my entire life.
I think you weren't alone in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My entire life, it's always been around.
Sure.
And so once I recognized the fact that I was indulging too much, I was like, I wonder how long I could go without.
Oh, okay. So you were curious.
And then a year later, I was able to say I went a whole year without having a single drop of alcohol.
So you went from having too much to like, I'm done with this.
Yeah. Yep. And when I say too much, it wasn't like absurd.
Right.
But it was more than what I would normally do because, again, we are all at home and going through this pandemic. And so it just became a little bit more easily to consume.
It was not an easy time for any of us. Our whole lives were upended. Our routines, our everything changed almost overnight. I think a lot of people, I mean, you're not the first one that I've heard say that, but thank you for sharing that. Yeah. And good for you for recognizing, hey, I'm doing this. I don't want to be doing this. I'm going to do something different. And then just saying, nope, I'm done.
Yeah. Especially during the pandemic. Cool. I think when, during a time when I think, like you said, that was on a lot of people's minds.
Yeah.
Doing stuff like that. And so it just, it was almost like a fast for me in the sense of like, what else could I do during this time that everyone is going through this crazy time.
Right. That everyone's going a little crazy because so much had changed so quickly. And we humans like our routines. We like predictability. And then all of that was just blown up. So, okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
I want to know more about your chiropractic practice. And I mean, I rattled off a whole bunch there in your bio when I introduced you, but help us sort of hone in. What are your areas of specialty, and kind of like within that framework, who is the patient that comes to see you? Like, what are their ailments? What's going on for them?
Got it. Yeah. So I think I graduated in a way from school with a concentration on rehab and orthopedics, because that was kind of ingrained within me.
Okay.
I was an athlete. I was treated by some pretty good orthopedic specialists.
Makes sense.
I was surrounded by them.
Yeah.
And so I knew what I wanted to do. And so I wanted to build a practice that was more sports oriented.
So cool.
And so as I came through, I knew about kinesiotaping from obviously from being in school and seeing it. And then it was used in the clinics I was at.
Yeah.
And so I practiced it, but I didn't certify in it until I realized I wanted to come here. So when I left Illinois to come to Kitsap County, I did my research and I found out there was no CKTPs, which is a certified kinesiotaping practitioner.
Thank you for telling us what that CKTP meant.
So there was no CKTPs on this side of the water.
That's
only from Tacoma to Seattle. And so I thought, I should get my certification.
Yeah.
And this way so I could separate myself from everybody else
Absolutely.
in Kitsap County.
Yep.
So I started with that. And then as I came through, I started working with different organizations like the Kitsap Tri-Babes, West Island Tri-Club.
Oh, cool.
I started working with the high school, CK High School. I would be on sideline with Dr. Rankin with the CK high school football team.
That's awesome.
And that's what I did in Illinois.
Huge.
So there was an orthopedic surgeon that would allow us to take his place on the field.
So like you're still in a sports environment, which is really cool.
And then with the way that Kitsap County, I realized worked is you have to submerge yourself into the community.
Right.
And so
right.
I learned very fast to do that. And so between the chamber and different involvement.
I mean, it's just something we all need to do anyway, because community is so rich. It's like, it's how we live our best life
100%.
When we're connected with others in our community.
Yeah.
So good for you.
Yeah. So then that led to the teams. And so then I started working with the Kitsap Admirals. I became
And
they're a semi-pro basketball team that started now probably 13, 14 years ago.
Good for them.
And
wow.
So they're local men and women, and they start from AAU.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they start AAU, which is teenagers.
Oh my gosh.
And then they can go to college. There's post-college or post-grad. And so then they would travel nationally, even internationally.
So you got to travel with?
I did not do anything overnight. That was just a personal decision I made. And so I didn't do anything long term. Like they went to their first trip to China. I mean, it was a discussion, but didn't last very long in my house just because it's busy. And
Wait, your house is busy?
Yes.
Oh gosh, yeah. I wouldn't think that.
So then between the Kitsap Admirals, I wrote their medical department program, and then I became their medical director. And then when their head office split, part of their head office created a track team, an elite youth track team called the Kitsap Flyers.
Okay, I'm learning so much.
And so as they were looking also for a medical person to be in charge of their athletes, they remembered that I was part of the Admirals, and maybe I would consider doing that for the Flyers. And so they basically, it was a walk-on position.
Because they thought, like, this guy's really bored. He hardly has anything going on at home.
Right.
And we should give him something else to do.
Right. I'm sure they were thinking that.
I'm sure they were.
So then that turned into my second medical director position. And then I created their medical department. And they're an all year round team as well. And so they do
like
indoor,
not really a break.
Yeah, they do indoor and outdoor. And then when we created Civil Wellness Center, we were invited to be part of a medical team with Kitsap Physical Therapy. So Civil Wellness Center and Kitsap Physical Therapy created the medical team for the Olympic Force, which is a semi-pro women's and men soccer team.
Okay.
And so, and then years went by with that situation, and ended up just turning into like more of an unofficial medical director position with the Olympic Force.
Okay.
Where I would then just direct care between Kitsap Physical Therapy, chiropractic, massage therapy, orthopedics.
It's a lot. So now, fast forward, is your focus still on helping athletes? Is it still like, is that your sweet spot? Is that like your favorite kind of?
I have patients that are across the spectrum. And so I'll have children all the way to stay-at-home moms, all the way to the weekend warrior, all the way to the semi-pro, and then professional athlete.
Yeah. Okay. So as I mentioned, I'm a patient of yours, and you know, I took up rowing last year, so I feel like I fit now in the athlete. And what else? Oh no, I'm not a stay-at-home mom. My kids are all grown. I think that might be the only one. But it's so great to have you, and you know, Silverdale Wellness Center. So much is happening there. I always appreciate being able to come in, see you, get my adjustment. And anything I forget, you always remember, which is like, oh, let's check your knees today. Let's check this today. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's a great idea. So thank you for that. So, Sean, you mentioned that life is a little busy at your house. I've known you since way back when. You have a lovely wife, Dee. She's active in the community. You guys had 3 birth children. That's how long I've known you. And then you made the decision to become foster parents. And it seems like life radically changed for you since then. So tell us a little bit about your family life.
So yeah, we as we moved with my kids from Illinois, they were 1 and at the very youngest, and then there was 3, and then 5. And so
babies.
Yeah. So then as they grew, and we belonged to a church at the time, Seaside, and they had a partnership with Olive Crest, which is a Christian-based foster care agency in Silverdale, Bellevue, and Tacoma.
Oh, I thought they were just Silverdale based.
Yeah, and they might be a little bit more spread out now in the sense of like other states. But once we learned about Olive Crest, we were really intrigued in seeing how we can help serve our community.
Right.
And so as we did that, it was my wife's leadership. I don't want to take credit because she's the one that spearheaded that.
Good
and
for her.
Had to kind of get me on board as well.
Go D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we decided to get licensed as foster care parents, and we started by having a little girl, and then that was now 9 years ago. And so we've had our license for 9 years. And so through that, we've had multiple kids come through our house. And then in a very unique situation, we've had a 2 sibling set kids that ended up becoming legally free. And so once it became legally free, we adopted them. And that was in 2020.
So awesome.
Yeah. And then last year, 2025, we had another sibling set that also became legally free, and we adopted them.
Okay.
So then we decided we don't have enough room in our house. Mental capacity was starting to fade.
I'm doing the math here, Sean. 3 kids, sibling set. So now we're up to 5. Another sibling set. So now we're up to 7. And you guys are like, okay, we're good.
Yeah.
Good for you. That is absolutely incredible.
So we still support Olive Crest and other foster parents, and we still meet and talk to other foster parents.
Good for you.
And try to encourage best we can. But
Yeah.
we let our license lapse last year, and so we've kind of stepped away from that chapter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, adopting kids that have been through the foster care system, I can't imagine is easy. So kudos to you guys for taking in these kids and giving them such a beautiful home and place to grow up.
Thanks.
That's awesome. And I've met your kids and they're just like so stinking cute. They're so adorable. Okay, let's switch some gears. I am really curious about your involvement with the Silverdale Wellness Center.
Okay.
I knew you when you just had your private practice. I think it was over in the 3100 building, not far from here. Walk us through that journey of you're in private practice and all of a sudden you're part owner of the Silverdale Wellness Center. How did all that come about?
So that's a good story too, and there's multiple.
I knew it would be a good story.
Multiple facets to that one.
Okay.
So I think it was also part of a group that we belonged to together, the Mastermind group. And that had both you and then a couple others that I came up with the idea of Silverdale Wellness Center.
Yeah.
And that was stemming from a business that me and my partner were trying to launch, which was a pain practice.
This is all coming back to me.
Yeah, pain solutions.
Yeah.
And so we spent about 3 years building it.
Okay.
And then realized that we needed somewhere to put it.
Yeah.
And so in our research, we found that there was some space available in Kitsap County.
Okay.
However, there was barriers, we'll say.
Barriers.
And so
I like that. Barriers.
And so
some obstacles.
Yeah. So then someone that was involved in the arbitration of those barriers suggested a building that was under construction that already had half of the first floor rented out, and all they had was a parking garage built. Okay. And so then they went ahead and said that we would build however you would like it. And so that was intriguing.
Yeah.
And they continued to wow us with the things they offered. And so we thought it would be a really good idea. So
sure.
So the doctors in my office, that I was partnered with in the small 3100 building.
Yeah.
We started planning how this office would be designed.
Okay.
And so with the help of Michelle Doyle, she helped decorate and help plan some of the aesthetics of the office.
Okay.
But the function of the office was primarily myself, Dr. Crispin, and Dr. Lane.
Okay. So this was your brainchild, which as soon as you mentioned mastermind, like bing, I can remember when this was just in the idea talking phase. And now you have this beautiful building. You guys, I mean, it's just lovely to be in. It feels good. The energy is good. You've got multiple chiropractors. You've got a massage therapist. You do red light therapy. Am I missing anything?
So yeah, we have Emily, who has our primary care as a nurse practitioner.
So Emily Ruckman.
Yep, Eleni Ruckman. And then we have Nina Phillips, who does IV through IV infusion.
Wow.
We also have acupuncture, part-time, thanks to Live Well Kitsap and the relationship build there. So
music to my ears.
Yeah.
And
so
thank you to Jonathan King with
right.
American Acupuncture, who's another awesome human.
Yeah. So he basically is in our office one day a week and then spends the rest of his time in his practice in Seabeck.
Yeah. That is awesome.
Every room, every space is now full, and we are a better than originally designed multidisciplinary center.
I love that. I love that. I think it's such a huge benefit to the Kitsap community to have you guys there. You're in a great location. There's so much going on. You're like a one-stop health shop now. And I just there's a couple practitioners I don't know that you mentioned, but Emily's amazing. Jonathan's amazing. You've got Janet doing the red light therapy. I mean, you guys are just really dialed in, and it's such an awesome place. So congrats to you for taking that amazing idea and then just getting it to the finish line. That is not an easy thing with such a major project. Speaking of, and we won't have a lot of time to spend on this, but speaking of not an easy thing, so we know that your beautiful space has endured some hardships and not just one. Tell us briefly what happened in your space and how did you stay resilient through all of those challenges?
Sure. Yeah. So unfortunately in 2021, in the middle of the night, we had a small fire And so that fire set off the sprinkler system, which ended up flooding 2/3 of the office.
Which would be hilarious if that was like a movie, like a comedy, right?
Yep.
But when it's your own life and your own business, terrible.
That's right.
What an awful thing.
Yeah. So we had to work through that. The story, it can be its own podcast.
I bet.
Ultimately, we got through it just because we had faith. I think was a very strong part of it.
Yeah.
I had a lot of good support from a lot of different people.
Good.
And then it was resilience through learning. And so ideally, I knew what didn't break you made you stronger. Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
And so I had to really fortify myself to handle all the things that were going to be thrown at me. And
so I can't even imagine.
So between 5 insurance companies involved.
5.
Yep. And then us having to figure out how to mitigate through that with all the different insurance companies pointing fingers at everybody else.
Wow.
4 months later, there was a flood that was at the opposite side of the office.
4 months.
Yeah.
4 months later.
Opposite side of the office. Yeah. And so that flood happened through a water filtration system that we had that I won't go further because I don't want to point fingers, but at the same time, that ran for almost 24 hours, that leak. And so that ended up taking out the entire first floor and the parking garage below. And so,
Sean, it's like a business owner's worst nightmare.
Yeah. And so that's 2 claims separated by 2 different incidences, then everyone trying to find responsibility. And so
what a like living nightmare. And in the meanwhile, you're trying to still do business and still help all of your patients. I'm just trying to wrap my head around that level of
challenge. A couple of businesses, unfortunately, we lost some businesses that were renting that couldn't stay there. And then we had businesses that couldn't see anybody, like the Ideal Protein practice and the Red Light practices couldn't see someone for almost a year. Wow. So they had to rebuild after they were done. But all the other businesses could stay afloat by just mitigating through the construction and the things that were happening around them.
Wow.
And so, thankfully, we had ways to figure stuff out.
Yeah.
So we moved a lot of our stuff into the empty space upstairs. And when the space upstairs got rented, then we had to move that stuff into a trailer.
So, Sean, it's the time in our podcast where we have another segment called What is Your Next Move? It could be something personal. It could be something professional that's on the horizon for you. What is your next move?
Well, personally, I'll be 50 this year. So I get a chance to celebrate that with my wife and 2 of my closest friends and their wives.
Oh, how fun.
We'll go away and do a little destination vacation.
Good for you.
Professionally, I've been striving to build relationships, as you know.
Yep.
And one of those relationships has been with physical therapy, the industry of physical therapy.
Okay.
And so through all the different relationships I've developed through that and the community, I was recently invited to provide an in-service for Kitsap Physical Therapy. And
that's amazing.
Yeah, I learned that they have almost 100 physical therapists between their 7 sites.
Yeah.
So it'll be a Zoom, and I find that there was a time that you could probably never do that.
So that's exactly what was going through my mind, right? Is that as a retired massage therapist, right? I just being around, PT people or chiropractors, it was like, you guys weren't playing nice in the sandbox together at all. It was like, PT was like, oh, chiropractors, right? And chiropractors, I think, probably have been more open-minded and had more of an interest. But I think professionals are coming around to what we do matters and what they do matters. And when we work together, we can really accomplish so much more healing for our patients. Kudos to you. That is amazing.
Yeah, it was really
neat. That is so cool. Okay, our very last segment is called Just One Thing. So, Sean, if you could take all of your knowledge, all of your experience, all of your healing wisdom, and tell our audience just one little thing that they can do to better their health, what would that just one small thing be?
Fix your posture.
Ooh, fix your posture.
Sitting, sleeping,
So
standing
none of
postures.
this, none of like, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a sitting, sleeping, standing question that I have for every new patient.
Okay.
And so ultimately finding out how is their posture. And so where do their
And why does
postures
that
need to fix?
matter?
Because it actually will cause the degradation of our anatomy. And
Yeah.
so for the most part, I have blog posts and podcasts myself on my website that go over a lot of the details that I spend just small amounts educating patients with.
That's so good.
But it's a
so
huge
good.
part of my practice in the sense of what they need to do.
And I think that is just so incredibly important because we live in a day and age where this, right, the head is down, the phone is up, and people are like tuned out, and their posture is just doing like that,
That's
right? That
Tech
flexion, tech neck. And it's so bad for people, and people just don't realize how much that affects their body now and well into their future. So great advice. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
And thank you so much for being here. This
My
was
pleasure.
just so awesome. I got to learn things about you. How long have I known you?
Right.
And I still got to learn things about you, which is really what this is all about. Anyone watching got to learn things about you. I just can't say enough. Keep up the great work that you are doing, because you are such a healer in this community, and what you do really matters and helps so many people.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for being here.
Appreciate it. And thank you for what you're doing too.
Well, thank you. And if you like this episode and other episodes of the Live Well Kitsap Thrive podcast, we invite you to tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell a stranger, just tell anyone. And also please like, comment, and subscribe. Oh my gosh, we are so excited to continue to do this. Please tell us your ideas. Give us more input on what kind of topics you want us to be bringing to you, because this isn't our podcast. It's for you, the community in Kitsap and beyond. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we also want to thank Lisa Starrett and the Creative Warrior Studio. We appreciate being able to record our podcast here. And they are located on Silverdale Way. So if you're in the Kitsap area, anywhere in the Kitsap area, you will want to stop in, grab a great coffee, do a DIY art project, or if you don't have time for that, you can buy some beautiful art that's here as well. Again, thank you so much for watching and tuning in. We drop a new episode with a brand new guest and a new topic every other Wednesday. And our signature sign-off: life is short, live it well so you can thrive.